teacher begins by having students reflect on what they learned through participation in the literacy centers. Working in pairs, students engage in multi-leveled word study activities while the teacher conducts a guided reading lesson with a small group. The students explain what they are doing at each center and how this helps them as language users.
The children are working in their literacy centers now. Usually when we have literacy centers, I'm doing small group guided reading with the kids. So I need something that's going to keep the rest of the children occupied, that is going to be worthwhile because it's a lot of time. So they have to be really focused on what they're doing. The centers have to be multi-leveled so all kids can access and use the materials depending on their level. And they're usually based on things that we've already done in the teaching process. So they get a chance to practice what they need to practice and learn what they need to learn before I get to that assessment piece. The work in centers is often the most reliable kind of assessment I see. Because they're having fun, because they're really engaged, we're going to see some really good work. Particularly for the class I have this year, I have a lot of boys in my class that are very kinesthetic in their learning, very vocal, and really need that time to work with another person. So working in pairs has been the most effective way I found this to do. They support each other and you never end up with one or two left out. What are we practicing in centers?
Learning things that you might need down the road.
Learning things you might need down the road.
Road?
What road?
The road of life.
Say that again, Max.
The road of life.
The road of life.
What's the road of life?
How you live your life and what you do. Everything we learn in school are just tools to help us on the road of life. That was really interesting, Max. I like that.
The children are able to navigate the room and work very independently during their center activities. One of the things that I know about the kids is that centers is their favorite time of day. They know how to use the tools that are in the room. Centers give them the opportunity to practice using those different tools that are available to them. And then usually what we try to do at the end is we come back and we talk about next steps. Is there anything that's not working for you in the room right now? Is there anything you'd like to see up or that we need to change? I try to involve them in every aspect of the learning because then they're much more engaged. And to me, engagement is the goal of everything because we can't get to comprehension if we're not engaged.
So the game is bananagrams and there's letters, spell words. If you have two people, it's harder because they sometimes take the letters that you need. You need letters that if you don't have the letters you need, then you have to try to spell another word with the letters you have. Garrett spelled Titans, and I'm working on my friend Melissa's. I figure out my words around the room and stuff, so that helps us to learn how to spell them and get them into their letters. So we have this little magnetic board, and we have like a whole bunch of words. And with those words, we make some sentences, and we have some periods and some question marks here. And these are the sentences we have so far. By the new house, funny flowers and green balls walked to the bath. After they are up the trees, people look at the funny monkey. And that's what we have so far. And now we're going to make some new sentences. Once we finish our sentences, we reread it to make sure it makes sense. On the overhead, we're doing words. So we would give a partner to do words, or we would take some words from here, and we would put them on here and make words with them. Yeah. And make sentences with them. Right now we're reading about animal survivalry. Maybe we can like spell. We could take some of these words and put maybe all the information that we got on one sentence. Or we would take the marker and take this blank piece of paper and put it on top. And then we would take that away. And then we put this on top and take the eraser. And what we would do is, say I asked Cole or Julia to spell exciting, and they would try to spell exciting on the paper, and then we would check somewhere in the room if it was right or not.
And if it was, we put a check. If it wasn't, we put an X. We would erase it and go on to the next person.
Teaching this way has been a real metamorphosis for me. I've watched my teaching change over the years, and it's made me extremely happy. I can remember when I was first starting to teach, kids were learning to read, but I didn't know why. Now I know the why. And when I involve them in what we're doing, everything is real. It's not about a construct that they have to fit into. It's what they need to learn, and then what I can do to help them. Where I want to see these students go is I want them to be able to identify their strengths as learners and their needs as learners, and see that the needs are not about a deficiency, but they're what everybody has to have the next time that they learn anything. We all start out the same way, feeling the same sense of fear sometimes about taking a risk and trying new adventures. That to me is what this classroom is about, that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to try something different, it's okay to go up to the cupboard and get a piece of paper out without asking the teacher. So this is their class, and they really do feel that this belongs to them. They have a lot to say about how it's run and what needs to be done, and they're very clear about what they need to have to help them become the best learners they can be. I love to see the kids that come in that are not reading turn into readers. I love to see the kids that come in that are reluctant readers suddenly get excited about books, because they have lots of opportunity to follow their own choices and their own needs.